Hello everyone, it's Alice here to try and do my first tutorial. It is a tutorial on the ribbon birds I make. This is the kind of ribbon I use, and I take it off the roll by stretching it out and carrying it almost to the bend in my elbow. I then fold it in half and cut off the ribbon at the half mark, and again where I cut it or where I bent it in half. Then I fold a length down for what I feel like will be good for the wings. I have to do it this way, but I was trying to show you how much now. About that long. Then I take each piece, and where I bent it, if you can see that little bend mark, I tip my scissors and put the point in and run it along the length of the ribbon to cut it into fourths. This is necessary for the way the ribbon will be woven to make the body of the bird. Cutting this strip of ribbon in the same way I did the other one prepares it for what I'm doing now. I take the top strip, fold it back over on itself, weave it under the third strip over top of the fourth strip, and then I press to hold it in place. I take the second strip, fold it over top of the third strip, going back under the fourth strip. Now if you'll notice, this one is done with the curve facing up. This one, I have to do just the opposite. Take the first, with the curve facing downward, I take the first strip, fold it over on itself, going over, under, and over, and then making sure it's up to where that folded line was, I press down again. Now the next one goes over and under. And now we're going to take the two strips and join them together by laying one on top of the other. Sometimes it's hard to keep these little strips out of the way, so you just have to kind of get a feel for it and work on it. This one is coming out from under, so we go over and then under. This one is coming out under, so we bring it over. And this is how it looks. Now I turn it around, and we have to keep this meshed together. See how this one's up over top? We're going to go underneath and back out over. And this one's coming out under, so we're going up and over and then under. And it should look like this. Okay, then taking the wings, laying them down on your work surface, separating your strips of ribbon. I put my little finger there and pretend I'm chopping it in half, but it's easier to do it this way to hold these two strips and these two strips between my ring and middle fingers, because now we're going to do some weaving. We first take this one, and as you'll notice, it's coming out over, so we're going to go under, over, under, and over. This one is coming out under, so we're going to weave it over, under, over, and under. Making sure the lengths of ribbon are straight. This is how it should look. Now, the strips behind will come, let's see, that one's coming out under, so it's going over, under. Oh, see, these strips get in the way, and sometimes it's difficult to see what you're doing, and it can be frustrating, but don't give up. You can always pause a video to learn a step. Now, as you can see, that's oh, these little curls. Okay, this one is coming out over, so it goes under, over, under, and over. Now, if I can move those out of the way, this is how it should look. I know that's hard, but you will see what takes place later. This is coming out over. We're going to go under this one and out over that. We're going to go over and out under. This side, we're going to go over and under and out between those two. We're going to go under. You have to use your fingers to manipulate the strips and work with it. And then these come out between those two. And this is how it should look. Now I'm going to turn it around, holding my fingers, keeping the ribbons in place so they don't come undone. Since this one is coming out over, I'm going to go under and come out over. This one's going to go over and come out under. And that's how it should look. Now, this one is going to come out. Let's see, it's coming out under, so it's going over and coming out under. This one's over, so it's going under and coming out over. And this is what it should look like when that is done. Now, we have to condense this big ball into a small one. So I just kind of cup it in my hands and pull these forward. Cup it in my hand, pull these forward gently as I can, forming the underside of the bird. And we will have to work with the strips after we get it. Sometimes we have to pull gently, one at a time. We want to make it look uniform, and that it should look like that when it's done. Now this, turning it over, this is the top of it. You can already see the bird taking shape. We're going to take these 4 strips. I'm going to wrap it around my finger and make a knot. I'm sure everybody knows how to make a knot. And this forms the head, and I put my fingernail along that edge right here so it doesn't move, and make it as tight as I can. Then I take my scissors and turn it at an angle and clip those off, and it makes the beak. I then take the wings. Let me move these out of the way. The wings will lie one on top of the other backwards, and I take my scissors and I in a scallop-like pattern trim off the corners. Now this one came out in too much of a point to suit me, so I'm going to trim that off. Also this one. Now, this leaves the tail. It's okay like that, but to increase the volume, I once again turn my scissors on the point and run it along and make 2 out of each strip of ribbon coming out. And this one, and then the last one. Making sure they're all in half. Then I curl it. You can vary the tension with the amount of curl you want. Sometimes if you're using them for a package, you might want to curl a little more than if you're hanging it on your Christmas tree or using it for decoration. A little history about me learning to make these birds. I have to say I was quite a young girl in high school. And I went to a class and this girl was making these. And I introduced myself and sat beside her and asked her if I could watch her. And then I got bold enough to ask if she would teach me how to make them. And she did. That was back in 1969. Now, we have our bird. We have the tail feathers. And I'm going to show you something. Back between these tail feathers, if I can get them spread apart enough, there's a little hole area right there. I slip that over my mini lights on my Christmas tree, and they light up. They're gorgeous. They're my little doves. I enjoy making them, and I hope that you'll find pleasure in learning how to make them too. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your kind comments to my videos. And I still haven't gotten that duck feather to be able to do the tutorial on curling the duck feather for that Tussie Mussie I made. But hopefully with the weather warming, I will be able to do that soon. And until then, love you all. Bye.